J.D. Pritzker signing the state's largest spending plan in Illinois history, $55.2 billion budget. That increases taxes on a whole host of things, from cell phone surcharges to, tobacco, sports betting. Welcome in. It's Illinois in Focus Daily. I'm Greg Bishop. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and wake up with us each and every weekday morning for Illinois in Focus. Want to remind people to get the newsletter. Just go to thecentersquare.com and you can find that. Sign up. It's free for you and anybody, really. We're a free newswire service, so you can also donate to the Center Square. Let's get to the budget, because obviously it was the top thing that state legislators were supposed to do. You had long hours at the State House in the final home stretch. It's a $55.2 billion plan that legislators didn't get to see what the final bill was until hours before adjournment. It seems to happen every year. It's the last thing they ultimately push through before the midnight deadline is the state budget. But Republicans sued because they feel the Democrats violated the 3 readings rule by doing gut and replace and last-minute bill filings and not necessarily going through 3 substantive readings in each chamber before it passes. So that lawsuit's still out there. But the governor yesterday, signing the budget into effect, he talked about how it was difficult to balance the budget, but they made it happen, he claims. And just to give me a double check here, I'm seeing some audio. I hear the audio levels, but I'm not seeing much audio levels on the live stream. I'm hoping that you guys can tell me if you've heard the governor there or if it's just better this way. Let's try this. And 3, 2, 1, go.
After decades of budget mismanagement, we are doing the hard work of crafting balanced budgets year after year. This year, that task was made harder by the turbulent national economic conditions and unstable federal funds flow caused by the chaos and ineptitude of the Trump administration. Despite that, the budget maintains core investments for Illinois' families without raising their taxes. So
the governor saying that the Trump administration's national economy is causing pressures on Illinois. He went on further to talk more about President Donald Trump and how his actions are impacting the state budget, Pritzker claims.
The Trump administration is spending wildly on tax cuts for their wealthy friends, while the Republicans in Congress are voting to gut health care and food assistance for working parents, for seniors, and children. The Trump slump is affecting the entire nation. Our neighbors in Iowa are dipping into their rainy day fund, and Indiana is making major cuts to higher education and health care. While the Trump administration goes on Fox News lying about being fiscally responsible, Illinois is showing a better way, balancing the budget while maintaining the programs that most people rely on. With rising gas prices across the nation and Trump tariffs taking a bite out of everyone's wallets, our General Assembly and I are working together to make life more affordable for working families.
Now, the Republicans pushed back when the budget was revealed because they saw all these different tax increases, from a surcharge on cell phones to pay for a helpline. You've got increased tobacco taxes, and including vaping products and other nicotine products like those nicotine salts pouches that people are using. You'll see an increased tax on sports wagering. You'll see an increased tax on bed and breakfasts. You'll see changes in corporate taxes, a whole bunch of those. So increased taxes by the tune of like $480 million. But then when you work in the corporate stuff and different types of fund sweeps and such, then you're getting to like $1 billion of tax increases and different revenue collections that the governor is using to pay for the most expensive state budget in state history. So he obviously had a celebration of sorts yesterday, signing the budget. But he also had to take questions. And one question he had was about the Health Benefits for Immigrant Adults program. This program started up a couple of years ago during the pandemic, and it's essentially Illinois taxpayers subsidizing the health insurance for non-citizens in the state. If they're asylum, illegal, I don't know. It's however you want to characterize them, whatever category they fit into there, they would be able to get health care subsidies from the Illinois taxpayer. So the Health Benefits for Immigrant Adults program is different from the Health Benefits for Immigrant Seniors program. The Adults program is ending with this budget. The Senior program is continuing. Now, both programs, recent audits showed cost overruns, internal reporting errors. There were individuals on the program who had Social Security numbers when the program that's not what it was meant for. You had overall costs being $1.6 billion just over 3 years. And even Governor Pritzker, when he was asked about the Health Benefits for Immigrant Adults program going away, he said, listen, this is, it's an expensive endeavor and it cost a lot more than we anticipated. But he was asked, you're claiming Republicans are wanting to take people off of Medicaid rolls, but the governor here in Illinois is the one that's taking people off of Medicaid rolls.
I just happened to have been in Minnesota. They also had a program that they eliminated, so we're not the only state. Lots of states have faced the challenge of budgeting and balancing their budgets this year. This was part of the challenge that we had to address. It was a program that had been growing significantly in cost. I do believe that everybody should have health care. I also know that we have to live within our means in the state of Illinois, and particularly because of all the mismanagement that's occurred over so many years. So we've got to rein it in and make sure that we're actually balancing the budget, and that was part of the decision that was made with regard to that program. As you know, we kept the program that's focused on seniors who are the most vulnerable. And it's true that when people don't have health insurance, that they often end up in an emergency room, and that can cost taxpayers more than the coverage that we might otherwise provide. We've got to work out how we're going to cover everybody in the state of Illinois, and that's something that I believe significantly is the job of state government and something that we'll continue to look at.
So obviously it's going to be a major point of political conversation for the governor, and that is the question of universal health care. He's pushed that before, but here he is taking health care away from a population that he has catered to, he and Democrats at the State House, with sanctuary policies and health benefits that are subsidized by the taxpayer, and school and shelter and legal services, and the millions of dollars going to welcoming centers across the state. Are those funds being audited? I mean, there's a whole host of concerns here, right? But in the budget, gets rid of the health benefit for immigrant adults, keeps the health benefit for immigrant seniors, spends a whole bunch of money on all kinds of other things, from state operations to K through 12 and higher education and prisons and state police and back to cities and villages and communities across the state. There's also a lot of pet projects in there, including a pet project for Illinois House Speaker Chris Welch's district, the Proviso School District, getting $40 million. And this is just a part of what Republicans said was in the budget a bunch of pork. And these are projects that are given to Democratic districts, and that could be, $1.5 million for infrastructure or for a different nonprofit group or so on. But Republicans say they weren't allowed to take part in that decision of where those funds were going to go for specific districts. Well, Speaker Welch's district in particular was a focal point because, well, he's the speaker, and when you've got school districts that want new facilities, they have to ask taxpayers, hey, can we increase your taxes to pay for this new facility now? Not sure why there's no effort to have long-term planning and, put savings away and to know that you've got maintenance you need to have happen and such, but another conversation for another day. When it comes to local school districts wanting to build, they have to ask local taxpayers for that money. But in Speaker Welch's district, in particular, the state budget does outline $40 million of state money. Not local taxpayer dollars that are paid to the local community, but state taxpayer dollars going to Welch's office. He defended that.
Let me respond to that this way. My new Chief of Staff, Clayton Harris III, is here with me this morning. One of the things that we're proud of doing is that we took the minority leader and her chief of staff to dinner. And I turned to her and I said, "Leader, how can I help you? How can I help your members?" And her response to me was, "Don't expect us to vote for the budget. Don't expect us to get primaried." Let me tell you, I vote for a budget because I want to help my community. I don't do something because I worry about the next election. If helping Proviso in the region that I grew up in is going to cost me an election, I'm willing to do that. I'm fine with that. But people sent me to Springfield to help the community, to help this state, and I'm going to continue to do that, and I'm really proud of it.
So Speaker Welch defending the decision to earmark dollars for his district when it comes to new facilities and such. But listen, I mean, the budget also does a whole host of other things. It gives like $100 million to the rainy day fund, starting to build those reserves up. Governor Pritzker talked about getting a bunch of credit rating upgrades over the past several years. Illinois still has, I think, the lowest or the second lowest credit rating of all states in the country. And one of the reasons why is because of the huge amount of pension obligations the state has. Taxpayers are on the hook for $140 billion of unfunded pension liabilities. Well, part of this, Governor Pritzker says the budget that he signed yesterday tackles.
This budget addresses the Tier 2 pension Social Security safe harbor fix, which will now begin in FY26. For a third time since I took office, we are funding above the required pension payment to create a $75 million reserve fund for the expected costs associated with maintaining the Social Security wage base. With this fix going into effect, we're protecting our taxpayers and state workers from future shortfalls that could cost the state much more.
So the budget signed, largest state spending plan in state history, $55.2 billion. You got all of the ins and outs, but one thing it didn't include was the transit funding. And how's that going to be paid for? Are they going to have to come back this summer to deal with that, or will they wait until October for, the fall veto session? And what about all the other, like we talked about the Madigan situation, no ethics reforms brought about. Are they going to bring about ethics reforms after Madigan goes to prison October 13th? How's that going to work? So we'll watch all of this as we do with the Center Square. So like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. I'm Greg Bishop. The budget starts July 1st. So all those tax increases, tobacco, cell phone, the sports betting increases, the bed and breakfast, the corporate tax changes. Keep going down that list. All of that is expected to go into effect July 1st. That's when the fiscal year begins. All right. It's Illinois in Focus Daily. Get the headlines at thecentersquare.com.